Breaking news from the federal courthouse has just shattered everything we thought we knew about the Diddy Combs case. What began as a focused legal battle involving Cassie Ventura has now exploded into something far more explosive and far-reaching than anyone anticipated. Federal prosecutors have just introduced evidence that extends far beyond the original allegations. We're no longer talking about isolated incidents or tabloid speculation. This is now a comprehensive federal investigation involving multiple high-profile celebrities, leaked audio recordings, and testimony from industry insiders who have remained silent for years. The courtroom atmosphere became electric when prosecutors revealed the existence of previously undisclosed audio recordings. These recordings allegedly feature conversations between Sean Combs and several A-list celebrities, including Will Smith and Meek Mill. The content of these recordings, according to court filings, contains discussions that could fundamentally alter our understanding of power dynamics within the entertainment industry. Legal experts are calling this a potential watershed moment for the entertainment industry. If these allegations are substantiated, we could be looking at criminal charges that extend far beyond civil litigation. The implications reach into the highest levels of Hollywood, the music industry, and celebrity culture itself. This is no longer just about one person's alleged misconduct. This is about systemic issues that may have been hidden from public view for decades. The audio recordings at the center of this expanding case were reportedly discovered during a federal raid conducted earlier this year. According to sources close to the investigation, these recordings were found on multiple devices and storage systems within properties associated with Sean Combs. The FBI's digital forensics team has spent months authenticating these recordings and establishing their chain of custody to ensure they meet federal evidence standards. Perhaps even more significant than the audio evidence are the witnesses who have now agreed to testify. Dawn Richards, former member of Diddy's group Danity Kane, has provided sworn testimony that corroborates many of the allegations. Additionally, Brother Bilal, who previously worked as Will Smith's personal assistant, has emerged as a key witness with first-hand knowledge of interactions between these major industry figures. While the specific content of these recordings remains under court seal, legal filings provide some insight into their nature. The recordings allegedly capture conversations spanning several years and involve discussions about industry practices, personal relationships, and business arrangements that prosecutors argue demonstrate a pattern of behavior. Most significantly, these conversations allegedly include admissions and discussions that directly contradict public statements made by several of the individuals involved. The involvement of Will Smith and Meek Mill in these recordings has sent shockwaves through their respective fan bases and the entertainment industry at large. According to court documents, Will Smith's voice appears on recordings dating back several years during conversations that allegedly took place at private industry events and personal gatherings. Meek Mill's alleged participation centers around more recent recordings that prosecutors claim demonstrate ongoing relationships and communications with Sean Combs during the period when many of the alleged incidents occurred. Criminal defense attorney Sarah Mitchell, who has handled similar high-profile cases, explains that audio evidence of this type can be particularly powerful in federal court. When you have recorded conversations between multiple parties discussing alleged criminal activity, it creates a web of evidence that's very difficult to dispute, Mitchell notes. The challenge for the defense will be establishing context and arguing that conversations may have been taken out of context or misinterpreted. Federal prosecutor James Rodriguez adds that the authentication process for Prosecutor James Rodriguez adds that the authentication process for Brooks Getterhouse 4 in L10CF.GOMCOM in Burgas and Crowdy of uses out in Crendes and Plek, Tom as in. Such evidence is rigorous, requiring multiple layers of verification before it can be presented to a jury. Representatives for Sean Combs have issued carefully worded statements challenging both the authenticity and the interpretation of these alleged recordings. His legal team argues that any conversations captured on these recordings were taken out of context and do not constitute evidence of criminal wrongdoing. They have also raised questions about the circumstances under which these recordings were made, suggesting that some may have been created without the knowledge or consent of the participants, which could affect their admissibility in court. The technical aspects of presenting audio evidence in federal court involve complex considerations around authentication, chain of custody, and admissibility standards. Digital forensics experts must demonstrate that the recordings have not been altered or manipulated, while also establishing the identity of the speakers through voice analysis and contextual evidence. Additionally, the court must consider privacy laws and the circumstances under which the recordings were made, as these factors can significantly impact whether the evidence can be presented to a jury. Dawn Richards' decision to come forward represents a significant development in this case, particularly given her direct professional relationship with Sean Combs during her time with Danity Kane. Richards, who was part of the group formed on Combs' reality show Making the Band, has provided detailed testimony about her experiences during the height of the group's success. Her testimony reportedly includes specific incidents, dates, and locations that prosecutors argue establish a pattern of behavior consistent with the charges being pursued. According to court filings, Richards' testimony includes allegations of inappropriate behavior, professional misconduct, and instances where she witnessed interactions that made her uncomfortable. What makes her testimony particularly significant is that it allegedly corroborates details found in the audio recordings, creating multiple sources of evidence that support the prosecution's case. Richards has also reportedly provided documentation, including text messages, emails, and photographs that support her account of events during her time working with Combs. Brother Bilal's emergence as a witness adds an entirely different dimension to this case, as his alleged knowledge comes from his time working closely with Will Smith rather than directly with Sean Combs. According to sources familiar with his testimony, Bilal claims to have witnessed interactions between Smith and Combs that provide context for some of the conversations captured in the audio recordings. His position as a personal assistant allegedly gave him access to private conversations and behind-the-scenes interactions that were never intended for public consumption. Richards and Bilal are not the only industry insiders who have agreed to cooperate with federal investigators. Sources close to the case indicate that several other individuals with knowledge of the entertainment industry's inner workings have provided information to prosecutors. These additional witnesses reportedly include former employees, industry professionals, and individuals who attended private events where some of the alleged incidents occurred. The breadth of witness cooperation suggests that prosecutors have built a comprehensive case that extends far beyond any single allegation or incident. Legal experts emphasize that the credibility of witness testimony in high-profile cases like this one depends heavily on corroboration and consistency. Prosecutor Maria Gonzalez, who has handled similar federal cases, explains that multiple witnesses providing consistent accounts of similar events creates a powerful foundation for criminal charges. When you have witnesses from different backgrounds, with different relationships to the defendant, all describing similar patterns of behavior, it becomes very difficult for the defense to dismiss their testimony as coordinated or fabricated, Gonzalez notes. The defense team faces significant challenges in addressing this witness testimony, particularly given the number of individuals who have come forward and the consistency of their accounts. Defense strategies in cases like this often focus on questioning the motivations of witnesses, particularly in high-profile cases where there may be financial incentives or publicity benefits to cooperation. Additionally, the defense may argue that witnesses' memories of events from several years ago may be unreliable or influenced by subsequent media coverage and public discussion of the case. Given the high-profile nature of this case and the powerful individuals involved, witness safety has become a significant concern for federal prosecutors. Several witnesses have reportedly received threats or experienced harassment since their cooperation became known, leading to enhanced security measures and, in some cases, witness protection protocols. The FBI has taken these threats seriously, as witness intimidation in federal cases can result in additional criminal charges and demonstrates the stakes involved for all parties. This case has exposed uncomfortable truths about power dynamics within the entertainment industry that extend far beyond the specific allegations against Sean Combs. Industry analysts note that the involvement of multiple high-profile figures suggests systemic issues rather than isolated incidents. The entertainment industry's culture of secrecy, combined with the immense power wielded by top executives and celebrities, has created an environment where inappropriate behavior can persist unchecked for years or even decades. The financial implications of this case extend throughout the entertainment industry, affecting not only the individuals directly involved, but also their business partners, investors, and associated companies. Sean Combs' business empire, which includes music production, fashion, and beverage companies, has already seen significant impacts on valuations and partnerships. Similarly, projects involving Will Smith and Meek Mill have faced scrutiny from studios, record labels, and corporate sponsors who are reassessing their associations with the involved parties. Social media platforms have become battlegrounds for public opinion regarding this case, with supporters and critics of the involved celebrities engaging in intense debates about the allegations and evidence. The hashtag movements surrounding this case have generated millions of posts, with some calling for accountability and others defending the accused individuals. This social media activity has created additional pressure on prosecutors, defense teams, and the celebrities themselves, as public opinion can influence everything from jury selection to plea negotiations. Legal scholars are closely watching this case because of its potential to establish important precedents for how the justice system handles allegations involving powerful entertainment industry figures. The use of audio evidence, the coordination of multiple witnesses, and the federal government's approach to prosecuting these types of cases could influence how similar allegations are handled in the future. Additionally, the case may prompt legislative changes regarding privacy laws, consent requirements for recordings, and witness protection protocols in high-profile cases. This case has energized existing movements for reform within the entertainment industry, with advocacy groups calling for stronger protections for artists, employees, and industry professionals. Organizations that focus on workplace safety, artist rights, and industry accountability have used this case as an example of why systemic changes are necessary. These groups are pushing for new industry standards, better reporting mechanisms for misconduct, and more robust support systems for individuals who come forward with allegations. Perhaps most significantly, this case represents a broader cultural shift in how society approaches allegations of misconduct by powerful figures. Younger generations, in particular, have shown less tolerance for the traditional entertainment industry practice of protecting powerful individuals at the expense of victims and witnesses. This generational change in attitudes, combined with social media's ability to amplify voices that were previously silenced, has created an environment where accountability is increasingly demanded regardless of an individual's fame, wealth, or industry influence. As this case moves forward through the federal court system, several key developments are expected in the coming months. The court must first rule on various motions regarding the admissibility of the audio evidence, which could significantly impact the prosecution's case. Additionally, plea negotiations are likely ongoing behind the scenes, as federal prosecutors often seek cooperation from some defendants in exchange for reduced charges. The timeline for these proceedings will depend largely on the complexity of the evidence and the number of defendants ultimately charged. Legal experts have identified several possible outcomes for this case, each with different implications for the entertainment industry and the individuals involved. If the prosecution succeeds in proving their case, we could see significant prison sentences for the main defendants, along with massive civil liability and the complete destruction of several entertainment careers. Alternatively, if the defense successfully challenges the evidence or demonstrates reasonable doubt, the acquittals could actually strengthen the positions of the accused individuals and potentially lead to defamation lawsuits against their accusers. Regardless of the specific legal outcomes, this case has already fundamentally changed how the entertainment industry operates. Studios, record labels, and talent agencies are implementing new policies and procedures designed to prevent similar situations and protect themselves from liability. Insurance companies are requiring more extensive background checks and behavioral clauses in contracts with high-profile talent. Most importantly, there appears to be a genuine cultural shift toward taking allegations seriously and providing support for individuals who come forward with concerns about misconduct. This case extends beyond entertainment industry concerns to touch on broader questions about power, accountability, and justice in American society. The involvement of federal prosecutors demonstrates that no individual, regardless of their wealth or fame, is above the law when credible evidence of criminal behavior emerges. This principle, while fundamental to our justice system, has not always been consistently applied when dealing with powerful celebrities and industry figures. The outcome of this case may help determine whether that pattern of inconsistent accountability is finally changing. As we continue to follow this developing story, it's important to remember that the legal process must be allowed to proceed without interference from public pressure or media speculation. The truth will ultimately emerge through the careful presentation of evidence and testimony in federal court. For viewers who want to stay informed about this case and its implications for the entertainment industry, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. We'll continue to provide comprehensive coverage as new developments emerge, always focusing on facts rather than speculation. What do you think about these latest developments? Share your thoughts in the comments below, but remember to keep the discussion respectful and focused on the legal and industry implications rather than personal attacks on any of the individuals involved.